Once upon a time in a bustling city, there lived a wealthy millionaire named Thomas Reed. Thomas was known for his opulence, living in a sprawling mansion perched atop a hill, surrounded by manicured gardens and glistening fountains. Despite his success, the solitude of his life in the grand estate often left him feeling empty and unfulfilled. On a drizzly Tuesday morning, he decided it was time to hire a housekeeper to manage his household duties. After an exhausting search, he stumbled upon a woman named Eliza Brooks. Eliza was struggling to make ends meet. She lived in a small apartment on the outskirts of town and worked multiple part-time jobs. Her history was dotted with trials, but what stood out were her bright green eyes that reflected a spark of untapped potential. When Thomas first met her for an interview, she appeared slightly nervous, her hands fiddling with the hem of her modest dress, but there was something intriguing about her. As she spoke, she detailed her experience caring for her ill mother and running a small cleaning business. Thomas noticed a depth in her words, a passion for life that transcended her circumstances. "Welcome aboard, Miss Brooks," Thomas said, extending his hand with a gentle smile. Eliza accepted the offer, grateful for the employment that came with it. She settled into the role quickly, her diligence brightening the mansion with an air of warmth that had been missing. As weeks went by, Thomas and Eliza's paths started to intersect beyond the duties of her role. During late evenings, while he reviewed business deals, she would be dusting nearby. Sometimes, he would catch her humming softly. Thomas found himself fascinated by her, the way she approached simple tasks with dedication. One chilly evening, he invited a few of his business partners over for a dinner to discuss prospective investments. There was almost a palpable air of superiority around the table, each guest bickering over charts and numbers that seemed insufferably dull to him. Graced by five-star cuisine and fine wine, the evening was set to impress. As the conversations grew tedious, Thomas noticed Eliza entering the room with a tray of dessert. She was a picture of elegance in her simple attire, the confidence she developed during her time at the mansion radiating from her. She moved seamlessly amongst the guests, her presence feeling almost like a breath of fresh air in a suffocating room. When the discussion shifted toward current events, Eliza couldn't help but interject. "Excuse me, Mr. Reed," she said softly. "I couldn't help but overhear your conversation on the environmental policies being drafted. Have you considered how those could impact the lower economic classes? Many people don't understand the implications and rely on access to affordable energy." A sudden hush enveloped the room. Thomas froze mid-sip of his wine, surprised at her audacity and depth. His partners exchanged glances, their eyebrows raised. Thomas, intrigued but hesitant, said, "You raise an interesting point, Eliza. But surely, staying focused on business profitability is paramount." Eliza maintained her poise. "Profitability often overshadows humanity in boardrooms. What good is financial success if it isn't matched with social responsibility? A balance is essential, or we further widen the gap between the haves and the have-nots." The table fell into a thoughtful silence, the clinking of cutlery soon replaced by the echoes of her words. Thomas felt a thrill. He had rarely met someone so passionate, so aware of the intricacies of life beyond wealth. The skepticism in the eyes of his colleagues faded as her wisdom shone through. As dinner progressed, Eliza continued to share her thoughts on culture, history, and societal change. She spoke not from a place of privilege, but from genuine understanding of struggle and resilience. Her insights captivated not just Thomas, but surprisingly engaged the entire table. One of his partners, a seasoned businessman, leaned back and said, "You know, I've invested in many leadership courses, but I've never encountered a perspective like yours. It's refreshing." Eliza, still humble, smiled. Thank you, but my experiences have shaped me. Perhaps we often overlook valuable insights from those who live differently. By the end of the evening, the walls around Thomas's heart felt momentarily dismantled. He found himself enchanted, not just by her intellect, but by the profound sense of empathy she embodied. While Thomas had amassed wealth through his own relentless drive, Eliza possessed a wealth of understanding, something far more enriching. After dinner, as everyone departed with new notions swirling in their minds, Thomas found Eliza in the kitchen, washing dishes. He joined her, rolling up his sleeves. "Can I help you with that?" he asked, feeling a sense of camaraderie that had been absent in his life for too long. She smiled as they worked side by side, chatting about her dreams, of education and travel, of creating a world where empathy and prosperity could coexist. Thomas realized that in hiring Eliza as a housekeeper, he had invited someone into his life who could teach him far more than mere household management. In the months that followed, the mansion transformed, not just in cleanliness but in spirit. Thomas inaugurated community programs, fostering dialogue and partnership between the wealthy and the underprivileged. He and Eliza became unlikely allies, bridging two worlds that had once felt irreconcilable. As they worked together, Thomas learned that true wealth lay not in the glow of gold, but in the brightness of human connection and understanding. And for Eliza, the job she'd taken in desperation transformed into a partnership that opened doors she had only dreamed of, revealing the power of unexpected friendships forged in the most unlikely of circumstances. And so, despite their vast differences, two lives intertwined, one of privilege and another of persistence, reminding them both that intelligence and brilliance can reside in unexpected places, waiting patiently for the chance to shine. Story 2. Thomas took Eliza on holiday to a tropical escape. Thomas Reed stood on the balcony of his luxurious penthouse, the sun setting over the skyline of New York City, painting the horizon in hues of orange and pink. Despite his immense wealth, there was a sense of emptiness that lingered in his heart. He had built his empire, but he knew that true richness was found in the relationships he cultivated. Among his many employees, one person stood out: Eliza Brooks, his dedicated housekeeper. Eliza had been with Thomas for years, and he admired her unwavering work ethic and kindness. She never sought recognition. Rather, she found joy in serving others, always with a warm smile. One day, during a casual conversation while he was working from home, Thomas noticed her tired eyes. "Is everything all right, Eliza?" he had asked, genuinely concerned. "Oh, just the usual, Mr. Reed. My family and I haven't been on a proper vacation in ages," she replied, a hint of longing in her voice. That simple conversation sparked an idea in Thomas's mind. He decided to show his gratitude in a way that would create lasting memories. He called Eliza into his office the next day. "Eliza," he began, "I want to thank you for all your hard work. You and your family deserve a break. How would you like to go on a vacation? I'm thinking of Sandals Resort in Jamaica." Eliza's eyes widened in disbelief. "Really? A vacation? For my family and me?" "Yes. You, your mother Doris, and your siblings Sean and Penny. It's time for all of you to relax and enjoy yourselves," he said, his excitement contagious. Tears welled in Eliza's eyes as she struggled to find words. "Thank you, Mr. Reed. This means the world to us. I can't believe it." Days later, Thomas arranged for the entire Brooks family to experience a week of paradise at the stunning resort. With crystal clear waters, white sandy beaches, and welcoming smiles from the resort staff, Eliza, Doris, Sean, and Penny stepped into a world of tranquility. As they arrived, the beauty of Jamaica enveloped them. Thomas, who joined them for the trip to ensure everything went smoothly, watched as Eliza's eyes sparkled with joy. They strolled along the beach during sunset, laughing as Sean attempted to impress the family with his soccer skills on the sand. Doris beamed at her children, her worries momentarily forgotten. One afternoon at the resort's pool, Thomas sat beside Eliza as she relished a pina colada. "This is incredible, Mr. Reed. We've never experienced anything like this," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. "You deserve it, Eliza. The way you care for others, your kindness doesn't go unnoticed. I wanted to give back a little of what you offer every day," Thomas replied sincerely. "That means so much to me. I always thought it was my duty, but you've shown me how important appreciation is," she said, looking into his eyes. Eliza's family also began to bond with Thomas. Doris shared stories of her children's childhood, Sean talked about his soccer dreams, and Penny spoke passionately about her love for art. Thomas listened intently, laughing and sharing stories of his own. On their last evening, they gathered on the beach, the sky painted with vibrant colors as the sun set behind the waves. As they shared a meal under the stars, Eliza turned to Thomas, her heart full. "Thank you, Thomas, for everything. You've changed our lives in ways we cannot put into words." Thomas smiled, feeling the warmth of genuine connection. "And thank you, Eliza, for reminding me of the essence of gratitude and family. We should never forget to cherish those around us." With laughter, stories, and promises to stay connected, they finished their meal, knowing this trip would create memories to last a lifetime. As the stars twinkled above, they realized that true wealth isn't measured in money, but in the love and bonds we share with one another.